allergies. And I have to give a speech today in front of many people. Super nervous, so I'm gonna practice again, but I don't want to do it in front of people because I don't want people to like hear it before I like do it. I don't want people to like see me and be like, oh, she's speaking. I'm gonna be like a surprise, you know. Let's hope this goes well. Fingers crossed, everyone. And other people to represent us.
Yeah, I don't know if they're even open. I asked it something.
Hi everybody, welcome.
I have to go. So nervous.
Our next speaker is a young person herself. Renaissance Marie is a senior. Please welcome her to the stage.
Thank you. Good afternoon, feminists of the Coachella Valley. First, I'd like to thank you all for coming today to share your voice and support for such an important issue in our nation. My name is Renaissance Marie. I'm 17 years old and I'm from California. Not only am I a young woman, but I'm a Black and queer woman on top of that. This adds layers of different types of discrimination that I and so many people like me face all the time. My life's value is constantly being questioned. Like many of you, I live my life in intersectionalism. And for as long that I've known that I'm a girl, I have longer known that I am Black. And being a Black woman means a lot of things in America. For instance, I work just as hard and succeed just as much as my white male counterparts, yet we are not valued the same. In future jobs, I will have to be overqualified for any promotion that I might pursue. And in those jobs, my likely account of sexual harassment may not be trusted or taken seriously. Feminism is one of the most important movements of our history and in this nation, because it encompasses every other movement and issue that needs to be addressed. If you're talking about women's rights, then you're talking about Black social justice. If you're talking about women's rights, then you're talking about defending DACA and immigrant rights. You're talking about queer rights. You're talking about criminal justice reform, because there's not an issue in this nation that does not affect women. We need to support our fellow feminists, but we also need to hold each other accountable to not focus on only our strand of feminism. White women, support women of color. We cannot participate in racial discrimination in the name of feminism. And us cis women, it is vital that we protect and support our trans sisters and non-binary friends. This movement is to fight all forms of gender inequality and injustice. And the people who are marching here today, we march in the names of women who are not able to. We must recognize our able privilege to march. And when we ask to hear the voices of women, we ask to hear all of their voices. Now, I would like to show you the language of what it is like to be a woman. So if you feel comfortable, please join me. Raise your hand if you've been called bossy, while a man has been called assertive. If you have been called demanding for knowing what you want, when a man gets called confident. If you've said, I'm sorry for another person's mistake. If you've moved out of the way on a sidewalk because you knew that a man wasn't going to, because he doesn't value your space. If you've been told that you're being over emotional, too sensitive, or my favorite, delirious. Yes. Thank you. You saw all the hands that went out. When a man gets offended, angry, irate, he gets called passionate. When I am the same, I am an angry black woman. But this is changing. I can feel that women and people are changing for the better. Women, we are reclaiming our time and we are putting it to good use. In the 2018 election, there was a record-breaking number of women elected to the U.S. House. 90 women. We have women of color in the House. We have representation for the little girls who, unlike me, will learn about our government and have the chance to see someone who looks like them in the most important rooms in America. The women's movement is ringing loud and strong, and women are empowered. We must no longer rely on other people to represent us. Now we are representing ourselves, one woman in office at a time. Women have supported this nation through 2 world wars. Women have raised and taught this nation's children. They have entertained and sang for this nation. And now it is time that women lead it. Oprah said there was a new dawn on the horizon, and I can see the sunrise. Thank you very much.
I'm actually really happy with it. I'm told I was one of the stronger speakers, so that's really encouraging. And then there's random people who I didn't know before have been coming up and saying that I did a really good job, which makes me feel really good. And people are looking at me, and I'm really uncomfortable when people look at me when I'm vlogging. Literally gives a speech in front of my whole community, gets embarrassed when one person watches me while I vlog for like 3 seconds. I had a interview with Pro Homo TV, I think, and then I did an interview with a local news station, and then I exchanged contact information with someone who might be able to get me an internship in DC in the summer, which is super duper exciting. So it's just like a lot happening, and I was so nervous and insecure, and I was like, I am not cool enough, I'm not like smart enough or just powerful enough to do this, which is like the complete opposite message of today. And then I freaking did it, you know what, and I'm proud of myself for doing it, and more people are walking. Little quick story time. The girl approached me and she was like, hi, can I ask you a question? And I was like, sure, no problem. And she was like, what does LGBT and queer mean? And it warmed my little heart. I'm not gonna say her name obviously for privacy reasons, but she was 12 years old, and I explained it to her, and I explained what cisgender was and transgender, because you kind of like know both. Like if you know one, then you know the other one. And she has gay parents and didn't know what these phrases meant, and I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm not gonna be a queer parent that like lets my child get to age 12 and has to ask a stranger what her own community stands for. A girl who I think is doing like a photography project or whatever asked to take my picture, and that was really cool. And I'm wearing my feminist shirt. I don't know if I showed you guys earlier, so that has been doing really well. I have my ACLU pin, I have my sign, my double-sided sign. Yeah, today has just been a great day. We'll see what else happens, and thank you for keeping up with the life of a teen activist. Okay, thank y'all.
This building.
No, it was 13,000. It did bother me then. You were amazing.